You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, our family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Oh, let me tell you something. I am so sick of Washington and all its works, all them politicians down there and them congressmen. I'll bet you won't find none of them congressmen signing down their electric blankets tonight. Which if they did, their secretaries would get up and go home.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do? Toga party.
Toga! 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 Toga!
Click, click, boom! I'm coming down on the stereo, hit me on the radio. Click, click, boom!
I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're gonna lock me up and throw away the key.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh?
Friday! Friday! Friday!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rick Robinson. We are live right now from KLRNradio.com. We do this thing every Friday night. This is Robinson and Wright. I'm one half of the crew. He's the other half, Mr. Dan Wright. Almost said my name again. It's Friday. I may or may not have already begun drinking before we... No, I'm just playing. I don't even have any alcohol in the house. That's the makings of a sad Friday. When you get home from work and you're like, I don't even have a beer.
None, nada, nothing.
None. I don't have any scotch. I don't have any rum. I don't have any beer. It is a dry house, and I'm a little sad by that. Cause
wow.
Yeah, I kind of forgot.
All right, well, then we know you're sober.
Well, medical marijuana did just pass, so. Yeah, not necessarily be sober. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, as long as that medical marijuana doesn't affect your concealed carry permit.
Yeah, I don't have any guns. What are you talking about? Guns, I swear. We have
Me neither.
Here. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a gun-free zone.
Yeah, me neither. I've never owned any.
All right, so been about a week since we've done this, and there's been lots of news stories that have come out. So where do you want to go first?
Well, we could go with Chi Mascara.
Do we have to?
That name would be a hat tip to Leslie Dowd.
I was wondering where that came from. I haven't heard from her lately. But yeah, that's funny. That's actually probably one of the better ones that I've heard. Shea Mascara.
Yeah. So Ben Shapiro offers her $10,000 to the charity of her choice to debate him. And she looks upon it as some kind of misogynistic catcalling.
I don't know. I'd debate Ben Shapiro for $10,000. The charity of choice would be me, my broke ass.
That's right. She refuses to debate Ben Shapiro. How is she going to handle a debate during her election?
Have you heard? Not to backtrack, but have you ever heard Obama without a teleprompter?
Yeah, he stumbles a little bit.
No. Dude stutters like Mel Tillis. Actually, the guys on the ride were playing an audio clip from one of the times he was at a private meeting, and he was saying some of the same things that he was saying on a teleprompter, and it was, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. I'm like, what? So you could read from a teleprompter, but you can't talk? The hell? I mean, this just...
Oh,
well, there's a reason I brought this up. She is the new Democratic darling. They're going to mold her into... They're going to do the same thing they did to Obama. They're going to mold her into whatever they feel that their voters need her to be for them to vote for her. And that's what they're going to do. Because it worked with Obama, and they're getting their asses handed to them everywhere. So they're trying to find somebody who is malleable, like they did with Obama, and they're going to make her whatever she needs to be to fit whoever the voters need her to be, so they're going to go pull the lever for her.
But the thing is those voters that would end up pulling the lever for her aren't paying enough attention to what she's saying now.
Because they don't care what she's saying. The only thing they care about is the fact that she's going to give them free stuff.
Yeah. And boy, does she like free stuff. She likes free stuff even more than Bernie does.
And that should tell you something, because the funny thing about Bernie, for a socialist, he got an awful lot of money. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, Mr. Cleared $1 million last year, has 3 houses, wants to tell me what to do with my one house and my piddly five-figure salary a year. Yeah, he can kiss my ass.
He wants to cut in, he wants to pull another 20% of your paycheck, too, so that we can have Medicare for all.
See, that's the thing I don't understand. All of these people that want us to have things like Medicare for all are already rich. So if you really want to be able to take care of people, why aren't you doing it with your own damn money? Bernie Sanders, you have 3 houses. Sell a couple of houses. Give the money to the homeless. Find some poor people on the street. Help them get health care. You have $1 million in the bank. Until you are doing something with your own money, stay the hell out of my wallet and kiss my ass.
Exactly. I mean, and it's not even just politicians. It's some of these celebrities and some of these big tech CEOs and stuff like that. That some of these big tech CEOs that have billions of dollars. And they're all, oops. Guess what? The TV just came back on. Hey, everybody. King of Queens is on.
Woohoo! Hey, we're going to kill the show and go watch King of Queens. See you guys later. That actually used to be one of my favorite shows back in the day.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought I hit mute, but anyway.
You see, what had happened was, but yeah. So,
see, what's going on here, folks, is that we are having massive thunderstorms come through, and in fact, about an hour before we went on the air, I texted Rick and said, I will let you know if the power goes out again, because it's already been out tonight. So if I just kind of disappear, that's what happened.
No, if he disappears, it's the mob.
Well,
they're going to make him go sleep with the fishes.
I don't know if it'd be the mob or I don't know.
You have an ex, sir. It would be the mob.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. So
no, wait. Yeah, wait.
What?
No,
what?
no. That wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen?
It wouldn't happen.
I'm pretty sure you're underestimating her hatred of you, sir.
Okay, so anyway, back to these quote unquote democratic socialists. I saw a little thing on Facebook, everybody going back and forth talking about her, and somebody said, I'll take the 10 grand and I'll pretend to be a socialist, and I'll debate Ben, for the money. And I said it'd be easy. It'd be incredibly easy to do. You just get on there and you say, well, we need to give all of the people all of the things, and we need to do it by taxing everybody into poverty, killing the GDP, and running inflation up to 1,000%.
Wait.
That's the argument.
Why stop at 1,000? Why stop at 1,000? we should be.
We could go for Venezuela. And
we
go
should
for
be
a million.
No. We have to be better than Venezuela. We can hit 2% inflation or 2 million% inflation. We have to be better than they are. Even if better technically means worse.
But I mean that's what these people don't understand, and the people like her and Bernie, they do understand it. They do understand it.
Oh no!
To them, it's all about power. It's all about power. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, so this goes back to somebody that I interviewed a while ago who wrote a book entitled "To Slavery." The book actually goes through history and talks about the different empires and the different governments, and how basically what happens is we go through this enlightenment phase and we realize that freedom is important and we do all these things, and then eventually as the populace becomes used to those things, they start doing things that inevitably lead back to them being in some form of servitude again. And then there's a few generations that pass, and then eventually everybody gets tired of being in servitude, so then we start fighting for freedom and everything else again. And you can see this going on all over the world all the time. We're watching it happen in Venezuela right now in front of our eyes, because there were all these people that decided they needed their stuff more than they needed their freedom. And now they're dealing with those consequences. And that's the same type of argument that we're having right now. Because, healthcare is important. I get that. But it's not a right. There's nothing in the Constitution that guarantees you health care. There's nothing in the Declaration of Independence that guarantees you health care. It guarantees you life, which is already being taken away for millions of people every single day, thanks to Planned Parenthood. It guarantees you liberty and the ability to pursue your happiness. It doesn't guarantee equal outcome. It guarantees equal opportunity. We're all born the same. We all come into this world naked, cold, and hungry. It's up to us how long we stay that way.
Absolutely. I even hear the argument that I heard the argument one day that if everybody had universal health care and universal basic income, that is freedom. And I'm like, no, it's not. It makes you completely beholden to the government.
That's not freedom. Think about this. It's exactly what you just said. If the government is who gives you health care and who gives you basic income, what the government gives, the government can take away.
Yeah, and the government will have to take it away because the money's not going to be there forever.
I mean, let's get real.
This whole universal health care that Bernie wants, this Medicare for everyone, it requires that doctors and providers take a 40% pay cut.
Yeah,
40%. Now, who is going to stay a doctor and who is going to become a doctor? Who is going to go spend $250,000 on their education to make $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year? Who is just going to do that?
Here's the thing. Most doctors don't make the kind of money that the Democrats think doctors make in the first place. Most doctors,
no, they don't. They think they're all millionaires.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Most Democrats think doctors' starting salary is like $110,000, $120,000 a year. I know residents who make less than I make. By the time they figure in all the hours and everything else that they're putting in, they're making less an hour than I am. And by the time that the tax man gets a hold of them, they're lucky to bring home what I make on a check. Because they're always there. They work like 72 hours on, 24 hours off.
Yeah, they've literally, hospitals have resident quarters. They go in there and sleep, and they're on call for, like you said, 72 hours. That whole 72 hours, they're on call. They can be woken up if they go take a nap. I mean, they get naps. That's what they get. For 72 hours, they get a nap here and there for an hour. That's all they get.
I've done that. That sucks.
Yeah.
Running my own business for nearly 20 years, that was my life. Because I was always the one that wound up being on call, or I was always the one that wound up having to run the patrol routes, or I had to do this, or I had to do that. I was sleeping maybe 2 hours a day for 15 and a half years. And people wonder why I'm an insomniac now. You do something for that long, eventually your body gets used to it. I sleep for 4 hours, and I feel like I've slept for a week.
Yeah, I mean, I spent years working 2 jobs. You know, I mean, I would go into my day job, get in there at 7 in the morning, get off of there, go into my night job 4 or 5 nights a week, and work until 2 in the morning, then go home and sleep for a couple hours and get up and do it all over again. That was my privilege. That was my white privilege.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned white privilege, because I don't remember who it was, but I saw a tweet the other day, and it was funny because now this is just a bit of an aside, and then I'll get back to the story. So I see this tweet, right, and I put it out as a quote tweet, and I'll explain it in a minute. But now that I've been on KOKC for those few days, I'm starting to be followed by like local politicians here. I actually got a retweet and a shout out from our Oklahoma County assessor, I think was who it was. But it was funny because it was this guy who put out this tweet about white privilege and how every white person gets like $50,000 from their grandparents, and meanwhile black people are feeding their grandparents on food stamps. And my first thought is, can somebody tell me where I've lost my $50,000? Because I'm a little broke, yo.
Yeah, I saw that one too, and that was my exact reaction. I was like, what happened to mine?
But it was funny because one of the guys that like runs money for the little county is like, me too, and I'm like, well, crap, if you can't find it, I know I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's where do people come up with this stuff? I don't understand. I just don't get it. Where do they come up with these things?
It all goes, and I've used this analogy before, but it all goes to a shifting mindset in this country, because there used to be this idea of, you know, like say you're walking down the street with one of your kids and you see a guy driving by in a Mercedes. There used to be this idea of, you know, the dad looks at the son's got a gleam in his eye, smiling about the car. Hey son, you like that car? Yeah, Dad, I really do. One of these days I want to own that car. Well, that's great, because in this country, if that's what you want to do, you can find a way to make it happen. All you've got to do is work hard, do what you need to do, save up your money, get a good job, and you can be in that car. So that's the mindset, and that used to be everybody's mindset, because we want everybody to succeed, or we did. Now we see people that have succeeded, and we think they did it by cheating, or they did it by cutting corners, or they did it because they lied. And now when father and son walking down the street, seeing a guy with a Mercedes, son looks at the car, gleam in his eyes, I want one of those cars, Dad. Well, that's all right. I'm not sure if you're ever going to get one, but one of these days we'll get him out of his.
Yeah.
And that's
if I can't have it, you can't.
And that's the mindset of socialism. Because, and the funny thing about socialism is everybody looks at it as if they're going to be part of the ruling class. What nobody realizes with socialism is there's still a ruling class. And everybody who thinks socialism is going to be the best thing ever thinks that they're going to be the ruling class in the Socialist Party, realizing that there's only a handful of people that are going to have that ability. So it's really going to be no different than it is right now, except you don't have a vehicle to pull yourself out of it, because the only thing you can have is what is deigned to you by the very people that you wanted to take a shot at becoming, and you missed. That's the point. We didn't use, and again, this is a seeping of communism. This, after reading some historical text and a few other things that I've been doing lately, I am convinced that this has been going on for a lot longer than we realize. This has been going on pretty much since our country was conceived. because there's been a group of people behind the scenes that have constantly been trying to get us back to the point where we are ruled by someone or something, whether it's a group of people, monarch. They didn't really care. They just don't like the fact that us uppity peasants went off and started a war to start our own country, and now we're ruling ourselves. This has been going on for a very, very long time. And now you have this group of people that have decided they know better what we need than we do, and instead of fighting them off, we're listening to them.
Yeah, or at least in a general sense, we're listening to them. I mean,
there's a lot more on one side other than the. I mean, it may not be on our side going on as much, but there are definitely people listening to these fools. Oh, well, vote for us. We'll make sure you got free health care and universal basic income. And I mean, at some point we may have to talk about something like universal basic income, because as things become more automated, I'm not sure what people are going to be able to do to make money. But at the same time, those are the same arguments we've had since the dawn of time. When the blacksmith all of a sudden didn't have a job anymore because who the hell needs to make stuff in an iron forge anymore? Because we have manufacturing now. Everybody thought that, when horses went away, that farms were going to die. Everybody thought when the car came that industry was just going to change forever. We go through these fears all the time, and when we're letting our decision making be governed by fear and feelings, this is when things get bad. And that's all the left has right now, is fear and feelings. Case in point, I'm going to segue a bit, then we got to take a break, because when we come back, I actually want to get into this a bit more. But speaking of fear and feelings, we have this new book that's coming out by Omarosa, and talking about how Donald Trump is supposed to be this big, huge racist. So my question is, were you a hypocrite then? Are you a hypocrite now? Because you've been friends with Donald Trump for years. You went on The Apprentice. You were part of his campaign. You were part of his inner sanctum when he got elected to office. And now all of a sudden he's a racist? So if you knew this the whole time, what were you doing with him? It was okay because he was getting you money before, but now that you've been fired, now you've got a problem with this?
Yeah, it's all we've become a society of what are you going to do for me now? I mean, it's if I'm not doing my job and you fire me, I'll make sure I screw you over. I have never liked her. She is just a complete and total just opportunist. She really has never done anything at all. And yeah, so now she's going to come out with this tell-all. Whatever. It's funny, some of the stuff that Hillary Clinton has said behind the scenes, the progressives don't care. Somebody on the right maybe said something along those lines, and they're a complete and total racist, and they shouldn't be in the White House, or they shouldn't be in office, or they shouldn't be directing a movie, or they shouldn't be doing this, or they shouldn't be doing that. But if somebody on their side says it, it's okay, because they must not really mean it, because they're a Democrat.
Back to that "what have you done for me now" thing, that always reminds me, I think it was it was one of Eddie Murphy's stand-up bits, and I think it was in his stand-up special that he called Boomerang. He was talking about how he was going to bring over a bride from Africa, and how he was going to marry her and she was going to be happy. And then he said, but sure enough, she'll get here in America, she'll get used to how we do things, and I'm going to come home from work one of these days, and it's going to be, Eddie, what have you done for me lately, Eddie? And yep. he's like, woman, I brought you to this country, I made you a citizen, you're not living in a hut, and now you're screaming at me about what have I done for you lately? Get the hell out of my house.
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of person Omarosa is.
But the funny thing is, Eddie Murphy would be roasted alive if he said anything like that today.
Yes, he would.
All right, so we're up against the break. When we come back, we're going to keep the conversation going. So there's there we could talk about Space Force, or as some people I know are starting to call it Space Farce. I don't know. I'll reserve my opinion for later. I'm just really starting to know, wanting to know what the government knows that I don't, because every time they start talking about Space Force, I hear the X-Files theme. But we'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills. This is the Robinson and Wright Show right here, Friday night, KLRNradio.com. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun. Yeah, his shenanigans are cool, tragic. Which makes them not shenanigans at all, right?
Really shenanigans. I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Welcome back to the program,
Hey,
folks.
Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy on the walls and the mozzarella sticks?
You mean shenanigans? No!
Oh.
Talking about shenanigans, right?
Put those away!
Sorry, I had to. It's been a while. But anyway, the reason I figured that would be a perfect time to open with the shenanigans bit is we're about to talk about Space Force, which is really kind of confusing when you think about it. Because and bear with me, I promise there's a point here. because we started with with airplanes. We had like the Army Air Corps first, so we had all of these different planes and all these things that were already in service and all these pilots and everything else before we ever started an Air Force. So what I'm starting to wonder is there something our government's not telling us, since we're now suddenly going to start this branch of military called the Space Force? So, and my next question is, why in the hell couldn't we call it Star Blazers?
I like it.
I mean, sorry, it's a throwback to an old cartoon. Honestly, though, if you remember the original Americanized Star Blazers, you really should go find. I believe it was called the Yamato, was the Japanese version. Much more cool. The robot was drunk on every episode, which was hilarious.
Well, and the all of the personnel, I really do believe, should be called Starship Troopers.
I see. I don't know about that. I just don't know. That was a horrible franchise of movies.
Oh, come on. The first one was fantastic. It was fantastically horrible.
The first one was cheesy sci-fi-ish enough that it was still entertaining, but the rest of them were just like, why didn't you stop with the first one? Please, for the love of God. And then they made like a cartoon version of the last movie. I'm like, okay, that's just that's like 3 bridges too far at this point. You should have stopped a long-ass time ago. But yeah.
I only saw the first movie. And I had no desire to see anything that spun off of it or anything else. But the first movie was one of the most fantastically horrible movies I've ever seen. And I will watch it if it comes on TV or anything else. I will watch it.
I just like Doogie Howser being a psychic. That was kind of cool. But now, since we know about his old persuasion, I'm wondering what he was doing when he was linking with those bugs, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So about the Space Force. So what's your take on it? We really haven't had much of a chance to talk about it because I've been around like crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I mean, what do they know? I mean, I don't. I think we really, really, really need to concentrate on, and I mean, we still have the greatest military in the world, but I think there's a lot of things wrong with the military and organization, and maybe we should try straightening that out first before we start a new branch.
Yeah, I don't. So again, gonna put my tinfoil hat on for a second. If I had it ready, I'd be playing the X-Files theme right now, but I didn't think to load that. Here's my thing that just seems a little weird to me. So Coast to Coast Art Bell, back when Art Bell was alive, he was always talking about this rogue planet that was going to, at some point, come near enough to our solar system that we could see it. So by some weird coincidence, within a couple of years of Art Bell passing, there's now a rogue planet within view of our solar system, and now we're starting a Space Force. What the hell did our government know, and when did they know it? Just saying.
Well, Alex.
Hey! Don't get us removed from Spotify. We just got on there.
Yeah, I mean, it was when it first came up a few months ago. It was just kind of out of the blue. I was just kind of like, "What is this?" I mean, it made for some really, really funny reading on social media and some articles, but I'm still, it came out of the blue. Then all of a sudden, here it is, kind of surfacing again, and it's like.
And this time, the adult in the administration is talking about it. That's the part that threw me. It's one thing when because you can tell when Donald Trump is standing in front of a podium spitballing, because that's what he does. He stands up in front of a podium, throws everything out for the crowd, and they either throw it back in his face, or they scream and yell, or they laugh it up. Just kind of depends on where they are on the spectrum. But when Vice President Pence is holding a press conference talking about the Space Force, that's when you know there's legitimately about to be this thing called a Space Force. And the thing that, again, you know, growing up watching shows like, you know, well, not necessarily, I was already an adult by then, but SG-1, which eventually, when that series ended, by the time that was done, we had this quiet, huge Space Force ran out of Cheyenne Mountain that nobody knew about. So, again, sorry if I'm being a little bit sci-fi junkie-ish here, but I'm still just kind of, with all the things that I've paid attention to over the years, I'm still kind of thinking there's something else going on that we may not be aware of. So, I tried to drag Chad Alexander into my conspiracy theory, and he doesn't do those things. So his first response when I tried to get him to go off on a bit of a tirade about it and see what he thought was this has more to do with the fact that Russia and China have been quietly weaponizing space while Obama wasn't paying attention. Which is probably just as plausible, because let's face it, Obama was a party animal, didn't really do much of anything else.
Yeah, no, he didn't. And it's funny you
I
brought
still
up
like my theories
the whole,
better, but his actually
you brought up the whole, it's a little bit off the subject, but you brought up the whole Trump spitballing, and I heard somebody say that about, I don't know, probably about 6-8 months ago, and what went through my mind when they said it was, yeah, he gets up there, he either throws a screaming fastball, perfect strike right down the middle, or he throws a changeup, and you're not really sure what he said, but as soon as it triggers the media and everybody else, you're like, yeah, that's what he was doing, or he just balks.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no in between with him. He's either on target, he's making the media foam at the mouth, or he just completely just flubs.
Yeah, he just balks and sends the runner to first base.
But I mean,
anyway,
it's just honestly, it's kind of funny to watch, because the weirdest thing about Donald Trump, and the thing that's taken me forever to get used to him, is he's the first Republican president that plays the game by Democrat rules, and they don't know what to do with it.
No, they don't. I mean, I guess years of being a Democrat let him understand their strategies.
Now here's my honest thought on that, though. If the press would leave him alone and quit attacking him on everything that he was doing, he wouldn't be counterpunching against them all the time, and we wouldn't be getting nearly as much of the right-leaning stuff that we're getting, because right now he's only doing it because he knows it pisses them off, and they won't leave him alone. That's right. If they would just leave him alone and let him settle in, I guarantee you he would start gravitating more towards the left, because he's always been left-leaning in a lot of ways. That's like when you hear his daughter talking about, income inequality and paid family leave and all these things that Republicans have never really talked about before. Because the thing about it is, if you do the math, there really isn't income inequality. There's an issue where only one sex can have children. Therefore, there's times when they're out of work because they're taking care of children, or they've just had children. There isn't income inequality. It doesn't exist, not in the way that it's being talked about. But now even Republicans are using those phrases. So the one thing that I'm really, really happy about is the fact that the media won't stop trying to punch him in the face, because he's so pissed off at them. He's doing everything we wanted him to do, and I think if they were leaving him alone, we wouldn't be half of where we are right now. But I'm hoping they don't ever figure that out.
And they won't. They won't. They can't help themselves. They hate him and have so much disdain for him that they won't stop. There's no way they'll stop.
I don't think it's hate. Not really, because let's not forget, up until 5 minutes ago, these guys were all his friends. I think it's fear, because he knows where the bodies are.
That's true.
Because let's not forget, he ran in all of these circles. Let's not forget, Hillary Clinton put out an email when he got the nomination that if he won the election, they were all going to hang. We've seen that email because it got leaked.
Yep.
Let's not forget, again, he went to Chelsea's wedding. His daughter went to Chelsea's wedding. Vice versa, the Clintons went to his daughter's wedding. These people ran in the same circles. He knows. everything that they've ever done wrong.
Oh yeah, how many different golf outings are there pictures of with Trump with Bill?
Yeah, the disturbing one. I saw this. I saw this a while ago, and I don't even remember where I saw it from. But it was a picture that somebody took, and it looked like Bill was reaching down to grab Trump by the crotch.
Or was it Trump grabbing Bill by the crotch? I think.
Was it the other way around? Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Either way, it was really effing disturbing.
I mean, he wasn't really grabbing him. He was just kind of doing the, oh, look, I'm pretending. But it was kind of disturbing.
I don't know. Maybe it would be different if they were still young-ish, but when old people do things like that, it's kind of creepy. I mean, and I understand that because now I'm 45 years old, so I'm getting to that point where I'm probably going to be the creepy old man that scares everybody else all to hell. So I guess I should just embrace that now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 50 now, so.
God, sometimes I forget how much older than me you are.
Thanks.
Well, because you don't act it, though.
Yeah, I try not to. I sure do feel it sometimes, though.
I mean, honestly, there are days that most of the time I feel like I should be the older one than you because you're like just. I think it's the Irish, though. You have more Irish than I do, and as soon as you get mad, dude, it's just over. It doesn't matter how old you are, you kick somebody's ass. I'm coming to get you.
That Irish fuse runs out. It's a problem.
Wait, you have a fuse? Are you sure you're Irish?
Well, I actually can I can hold back for a little bit. As Laura rolls her eyes at me.
I think you forget we've met. Just saying. I'm just playing. But anyway, I don't know. We're wow. Only got like 14 minutes left. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, the one thing I can kind of add to the old Space Force thing, something you and I touched on when we were in break, and we can go back to the first segment of the show, is our wonderful friend Alexandria. She posted a tweet, and it said, it's funny, we can find the money for something like Space Force, but nobody can seem to find the money for healthcare and free college for everybody and this and that and the other thing. Well, whether you think Space Force is a good idea or not, if it's part of the military, it is part of the job of government, and the rest of that stuff is not.
Yeah, that's the part nobody ever really talks about.
I mean, again, I don't know where in the Constitution or where the founders said or anybody else said that everybody had a right to higher education and everybody had a right to health care and everybody had a right to an income. I don't know where they said that. I don't know where it says that. I need to find that. Maybe I wasn't paying attention in civics.
It's in the invisible ink section on the back.
Oh,
come on! You've seen you've seen National Treasure. You know there's stuff.
I need to go get I need to break out the black light.
Yeah, black light, decoder ring. You'll be set. But yeah, cool. I mean, it's that's the thing that nobody talks about. Before this became the federal ginormous government monstrosity, it actually used to be called the general government. It had three basic functions: protection. Actually, two basic functions, really: protection and commerce. Commerce with other countries, commerce between states, and protection of the states. That was its job. That was its only job. At some point or another, we decided we started needing this behemoth, and it just needs to go away.
Well, it goes in increments. I mean, it went from protection and commerce, then it kind of went into infrastructure, because with the advancements in electricity and everything else, we ended up with a nationwide power grid, and then We have the Interstate Highway Project, and stuff like that. And, I know all of my libertarian friends are out there going, but my roads. Okay, I get it. But, I mean, that's how it happens. It slowly builds, but here in the last 75 years or so, it hasn't just built, it's snowballed. It is just completely snowballed.
Yeah, completely agree, to the point where it's just out of control. Which is funny because I was reading an NPR article earlier about Trump secretly or quietly doing things to make sure that he could actually be the person that actually would be able to be firing people that were hired into the executive branch. And apparently people have a huge problem with this. I'm just kind of thinking, I kind of figure the guy that's actually running the executive branch should be able to fire pretty much anybody who's in the executive branch. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I mean,
yeah, because I mean,
there's certain things he definitely doesn't have control over in the government. I mean, there's people that think there's literally people out there that think the president is the all powerful, and he really isn't. He's one branch of government. He's not the almighty. He really isn't. There are controls. Something will happen and you'll hear progressives screaming, well, why didn't Trump do something about this and why didn't he do something about that? He can't. It's not his job, and he can't legally do anything about it. I hear it all the time with different things. Look what happened under Trump. Oh, why doesn't he get rid of this person? Why does he do this? Why doesn't he override this? Blah, blah, blah. He can't. It's not his job. He is not the almighty. He is the most powerful man in the country, but it doesn't make him almighty.
He's the most powerful man in the country, but he's not the most powerful man on the planet. There's a huge difference. But the funny thing is, because this is the thing that drives me crazy. So we have this group of people that, they see all these things that they feel like he should be doing. Well, why isn't he doing this? Because it's not part of his power in the Constitution. And then not 30 seconds later, oh my God, Trump's circumventing the Constitution, even though he just proved to you that he's not.
Right.
So confused. It honestly, the backflips that these people are having to do to paint Donald Trump with all these different brushes. And believe me, I understand it, because there was a time not too long ago I was buying the same things that they're still buying now. But the thing with it is, look, let's be honest. The dude is 77, 75 years old? I'm pretty sure he said the N-word at least once in his life. Do I give a damn? Not really.
No.
Has he probably told an off-color Polish joke? Pretty sure, because I know I have. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I grew up in a family where the N-word was used quite often. One of the first embarrassing stories that I can remember, without it, being like done through third person, like somebody was telling it to you, was the time that I nearly got my mom beat to death in a mall, because my granddad, anytime he was over at the house, would be N-word this, N-word that. We're walking through the mall one day, and I don't think anything about it. I'm like 3-4 years old, walking through the mall with my mommy. Oh, look, Mom, there's an N-word. Dude looked like he was ready to kill me and my mama. So I know things like that probably still happen. But do we have to destroy somebody's life over it, even if they're stupid enough to use that word? Because if so, here I am. I was 4 years old. I didn't know any better.
Well,
we're talking about people that grew up in a completely different time.
Now I know.
I don't care.
Now I know. I have the blackmail.
Yeah, whatever.
I have the blackmail stuff now. When Rick was 4, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I am still friends, and actually, it actually happened recently. Why, I don't know. I'm friends with Sherry Jacobus on Facebook. It drives me nuts. I mean, I find it entertaining, and Hopefully she doesn't figure it out and unfriend me because I get some great material from it. But the complete unhinging, anything she can say or find about Trump, anything. And now it's just Republicans in general. I mean, and this is a woman that used to be a pretty serious conservative strategist. Anything she can dig up from anywhere, any story, it doesn't matter the source, to her it's real. Every bit of it. It's unbelievable.
It's just terrifying. And again, you know, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again in the last couple of minutes we've got left. I don't support everything that Donald Trump does and says. But what I do is look at it as a logical adult. These things that he's doing, is he making things worse or is he making things better? The media is not going to tell you about it, but I'm here to tell you he's making things better. We have, again, if you look at the numbers, the best economy that's been around in about 46 years. I'm only 45 years old. That should tell you something. We have the lowest African American unemployment rate ever, lowest Hispanic unemployment rate ever, lowest female unemployment rate in 60 some odd years. You average those things together, in between that and the white privilege unemployment rate, we're sitting at about a 46-year low. That's longer than I've been alive. Dan was only 4.
Yeah, that's doing pretty good. I mean, but they won't say that.
Because they can't.
The mainstream media won't say it because they don't care.
Because they can't. Because
they don't care. They don't care that the country's doing well.
Well, no, I disagree. They care, but they care because they care not the same way you and I care, but they're pissed because the country's doing well. Because most of the people that are in the mainstream media now have bought into the socialist lie. They don't want us doing well, because if we're doing well, we don't need the government to take care of us. You want to know why the Democrats are so mad right now? I don't even think half of them realize why it is that they're so mad right now, but it's because they can feel their control slipping away. Because the more of our money that we get to keep, the more that we can take care of ourselves, the less we need the government to be able to do that. And that's what they've been managing to wrest away from us for the last 100 years. And he's been slowly, systematically undoing that for the first 2 years that he's been in office. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. After watching him do this stuff for nearly 2 years, I want to know what the hell the last 3 guys that have been in that office have done. Because he's done more in 2 years than they've done in 24.
Yeah, more than the last 2 guys.
Well, last 3.
Last 3 or 4.
At least. But that's what I'm saying. And this is why the media hates him, because they bought into the socialist BS. The Democrats hate him because they need the socialist BS, because they have to be able to give you free stuff to be able to boost up their platforms. The establishment hates him on both sides because they want government control. The thing that nobody else will tell you again is, while we're screaming and yelling because Donald Trump wants to be able to hire and fire people in and out of the executive branch, which again, I'm sorry, makes sense to me. He's the guy that's supposed to be in charge of the executive branch. Sorry if you don't like it, but that seems like an actual pretty smart decision as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, he's done more to restore checks and balances that the previous 5 administrations have slowly gotten rid of. Even some of the stuff that happened under the Reagan administration that we didn't find out about until years later. And then the Bush 41 administration, the Clinton administration, the 43 administration, the 44 administration. He's undoing a lot of the things that have been done even before those people were in office. Because there's been this drive to make us dependent on the government. And there's a certain core of us that really, really don't want to do that. And that's part of the reason why he's resonating with me right now, because I'm watching the things that he's doing, and he's giving us our freedom back, whether we realize it or not, in a lot of ways. Now, could it go sideways, and could he become the totalitarian guy that everybody's afraid he's going to be? Possibly. But that's only going to happen if the media shuts up and leaves him alone. Because as long as he's having to counterpunch the media, he's just going to keep doing whatever he needs to do to make sure he's pissing them off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's and the other thing he's done is he's exposed not just government, but he's exposed the media. That's absolutely why they can't stand him. He's not afraid to just, I mean, you know, he's not presidential. But that's starting to be why I like him. That's why I'm starting to like him, I should say. I mean, like with you. I mean, is Trump the man? Not a big fan. But a lot of what he's doing right now, big fan.
Yeah, I would agree for the most part. All right, so believe it or not, we're up against the hour.
Yes, we are.
So why don't you give out your stuffs?
Well,
or your stuff.
I mean,
your Facebook.
Daniel Wright on Facebook. Woohoo!
Find him on the Book of Face because he hates the Twitters. All right.
No, it's not. It's not that I hate Twitter. It's just that it's gotten to the point where I can't keep an account for more than 2 days, so it's pointless.
He forgets I'm in a DM with him. He hates Twitter.
Yeah.
He says it.
I hate it. I enjoy Twitter when I have an account.
All right, folks, you can follow along with me at Radio Host Rick. You can that's my handle on Instagram, Twitter, and actually there's a new one that I just started a thing on, but I'm not really using that yet, so I'll give that one out later. It was one that Orty brought to my attention, so I'm going to check it out for a while. And, of course, you can find me on Facebook. Just search Rick Robinson. You can shoot me an email, rick@klrnradio.com. Since I am officially filling in on KOKC from time to time and may or may not eventually take over the morning show. If you have any content ideas or questions when I'm on over there, you can actually email me on an unaffiliated email address that I have, which is radiofreerick@gmail.com. So you can feel free to email me stuff there if you want. If you have things locally that you'd prefer that we talk about when I'm on over there. If you got stuff you want us to talk about over here, just email the station. However you guys decide to get a hold of us, that's why we're here. We would do this without you, but it's much more fun with you. And on that,
in that 3 days that you were on, did Saul from New York call you at all?
No, but that's because I made sure Saul didn't have the number.
Okay.
I was afraid Saul would scare everybody in Oklahoma. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this particular episode of Robinson and Wright. We will be back with you Friday night. And then Dan and I are going to have to try to figure something out because this is my senior year for my son in high school football. I'm not sure I'm skipping the away games this year, so we may have to figure something out for a few weeks. But we will revisit that later because the first game isn't until the end of the month. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. God bless.